Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful Ankara shift dress. So what you'll basically be needing, you'll be needing 3 yards of Ankara fabric, you'll be needing your tape measurement, you'll be needing your scissors, and you'll be needing your chalk. So let's get to work. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to properly iron the fabric that you want to use to make this dress. Whether it's Ankara material or it's English material or chiffon, anything, make sure you give it a proper ironing first so that it can lay flat and it will be easy for you to take your measurement correctly and have a good fittings. So after doing that, you're not going to take the body measurement. Remember, the measurement I'm using here is different from your own. So you're going to take from your shoulder to your bust, from your shoulder to your waist, and your shoulder to your hip, and your shoulder to your hem. Shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist, shoulder to hip, and shoulder to your hem or the full length. And make sure that you use your own measurement. So for this, I'm going to cut the back piece first. So for the neck measurement, we'll be using 3 by 1, 3 for the wideness and 1 inch for the depth. So once you do that, you connect it. Then you proceed to take your neck measurement. The neck measurement I'm using is 16 divided by 2, that's 18. Then after that, you mark your sleeve length, which is 10. You add it to that 8, that's 18. And you add 2 inches allowance as sewing allowance. Remember, the sleeve and the shoulder, they are together, they are not separate. So it's cut together sleeve dress. So once you've done that, you come to the bust point again, exactly what you mark there, which is 20 inches. You're also going to mark the same thing on the bust. So for yours, if your own is 16, mark 16 on the bust. If your own on the shoulder is 22, mark 22 on the bust. If your own is 10 on the shoulder, mark 10 on the bust. So I've marked exactly what I have on the shoulder on the bust. So after that, you go to your hip length. Remember, we take the measurement of the shoulder to hip. So you divide your hip measurement into 4. For this person, her hip is 44. So you divide the hip into 4, which is 11. Then you add 2 inches allowance. That's making total of 13. So when you mark it, you mark from that place, you mark it up to the bust point. And when you mark it straight, then you now curve it a little, just like you see me doing here, because that place is going to serve as the armhole. So after doing this, you come to the full length and you mark the same measurement, which is still 13. You mark it and you connect everything together, just like you see me do here. You can see my chalk markings. Do exactly what I do. So now after doing that, you take your underbust, shoulder to underbust. For this person is 15. So if your shoulder to underbust is 18 or is 19 or is 14, whatever it is, then go down, that is, add ½ inch to it and mark. Then mark extra 8 inches, just like you see me doing, and connect them together. That will serve as your pocket. You saw me draw the shape of that pocket there. So and if you still don't want to put pocket, that is fine. But this person wants a pocket. So now I'll proceed to cut out the back pattern. So I'm cutting it out. And here is one thing I also want you to take note of. When cutting the shoulder, please slant it. And the reason is because we are not straight naturally. Our shoulder is slant. So because of that, we're going to slant it. You can slant it by ½ inch or 1 inch. So after that, you cut the sleeve part, then you cut the pocket part. Just make sure you cut out the back part. So now I am done cutting the back, and I'll proceed to cut the front too. So in order to do this, you do exactly what I've been doing since. Arrange the fabric, put the back pattern on it. You can see me do it here. Put the back pattern on it, and when you do that, then go ahead to measure the neck. Remember, the neck for the back was 3 by 1, 3 for wideness, 1 for depth. But for the front, it's going to be 3 for wideness, but 4.5 for the depth. For some persons, they will like it 5. Some persons, they want it to be 6, depending on what the person wants. So but for this person, he wants 4.5. So after doing that, you connect it with your French curve. If you have a French curve, you can use it. If you don't have, it's still fine. just trace it out and cut out the neck for the front. So now I am done cutting the neckline for the front piece. So I'll proceed to cut out the facing. Facing is a piece of fabric that you use to turn the neck of any dress. So I'll proceed to cut the facing for the back piece, and after that I'll cut the facing for the front piece. You can see exactly how I'm doing it here, and the reason is that we'll use it to turn the neckline so that it will have a neat look. So I'm done cutting out the facings. As you can see, now I'm cutting the one for the front here. So do exactly what I just do here. You can see the facing for the front and facing for the back. So we are done with the cutting process of this dress. So now I'll proceed to my weaving machine. If you have a weaving machine, fine. If you don't have, it's still okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm weaving, or some people say overlock, whichever that way is okay. I'm weaving the interfacing. The reason is that so that it will have a nice look. You see it in all this English ready-made dress. You see that you always weave the inside of the dress so that it's not only the outside that is neat, but the inside is also neat. That is one thing when you are making a dress. Make sure that both the outside and the inside is very neat. So after that, you're going to place your facing on the neck. For those who have never sewn before, just watch this video. I'm sure by the time you're done, you can make a shift dress for yourself. So you're going to turn the neck properly, and please, when cutting the neck, when turning the neck, use 0.5 inches. Don't use 0.25, don't use 0.75, don't use 1 inch. Use 0.5 inches all round. So now I'm done, and I'll proceed to notch the neckline. And the reason for notching is for the neck to relax properly, so that when you are wearing it, it will not look funny. Now you can see that it's relaxed. I've ironed it and it's looking beautiful. So the next thing I am going to do is I'm going to use hemigum. I don't want to tack that facing to the dress, and I don't want to hem it. I just want to use hemigum so that it will be neat. I don't want to see traces of thread or sewing. So you can go to any tailoring store, people that sell tailoring materials. You should be able to get this hemigum there. I think the small size is around 500 or 600 thereabouts. So you buy it. So this is how to apply it. You cut it out in strips, and you place it in between the dress and the facing. In between the dress and the facing. And then you put your iron on it, your hot iron, you put it on it, and you iron that part. And by the time you are done, it's going to gone. You can see it. Can you see it? You see that it's looking really beautiful. And if you turn it to the front, you will not see any sign, you will not see any traces of tacking or hemming or whatever, no sewing on it. It's going to look perfectly neat. So once you're done, then the next thing is to join the shoulder. You can see I've joined the shoulder. Then I'll fold the sleeve too. Remember, we added 2 inches allowance, so we are going to fold the sleeve, which I've done. Then I'll now proceed to sewing the side of the dress. You can see I've sewn the side of the dress, and when I'm done, I'm going to turn this out for you to see. So I'm done doing this, so I'm going to turn out this beautiful dress, and I want you to look at it. So here it is. You can see me turning it out, looking so beautiful already. Can you see it? Yes. So you turn it out, and after you do this, you fold the hem. Fold the hemline. Remember, when you are cutting it, always add sewing allowance, 2 inches sewing allowance, extra sewing allowance. So I'm going to fold it just like you see here. You do it exactly like that, and the dress should be looking like this, looking so beautiful. And once you are able to do this, you can go ahead and make as many designs as possible, just like you see me doing. So thank you so much. Drop a like and subscribe.